Welcome to Good Burger Reviews. My name is John. I'm here with Ryan again to review a brand new 2026 movie, and that movie is called Disclosure Day.
This 79-year terror campaign of lies has to end.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world.
That truth will upend all established order across the entire world.
This movie was directed by Steven Spielberg. It stars Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, and many more. Basic premise: if you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you or proved it to you, would that frighten you? So we're straight from Disclosure Day, right out of the theater, and this movie is definitely a movie blend of movies we've seen before, some of them Spielberg movies. And when I think of Disclosure Day, I think of Close Encounters of the Third Kind meets Minority Report meets The Fugitive. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly on Disclosure Day. So the first thing I'm going to put in the positive is the film is beautifully filmed. The cinematography is great, the action shots. Obviously, Steven Spielberg knows how to use a camera. This movie felt like Spielberg.
100%.
Spielberg, 80s,
Without a doubt.
70s, 80s, 90s. So, in some aspects, he did not lose his touch. But
I love how he built the tension over the entire movie. You got little pieces of the plot. It wasn't, this is what the plot is, and then go there. It was a little bit was released at a time, which built the story up, and it actually got you in such a grip that you couldn't wait to see what was going to happen next.
lots of mystery and intrigue.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
every time they would enter something into this movie, like some plot device or something, the way a character was behaving, the way the main girl was acting, the weather girl, which she's really a lead in this, they would do something and be like, oh, how are they going to explain that? Where's this going to go? And then, for the most of it, they do, answer a lot of these questions.
To really believe that we're not the only intelligent civilization in the universe.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth.
So the next thing that we'll put in the positive is definitely like the overall action. I mean, this movie's on the run. This movie's on the road. The characters are all over the U.S., going from Kansas City to New York and back. And they're on trains, they're on fire trucks, they're in cars that are crashing through houses. There's lots of action set pieces here. And I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking, like, this really takes that sci-fi element, the aliens, but blends it with the government, the church. We'll get into how we feel about the church in this movie, but the action.
Well, I thought it was great, and it kept you on the edge of your seat while you're watching it, because it was every time they wanted to rest, something would happen which would make them have to go. I don't want to give too much information there, but they kept having to move. They didn't know who to trust. There was a lot of really cool mystery to this movie.
Let's take a look at today. Let's. Today is. Today's.
So now we're going to get into the mix. And the big thing that we're both mixed on was the addition and the religion and the church and everything of how church ties into this story. And I never thought that Spielberg or anyone in Hollywood would do like a sci-fi, spiritual, religious horror like action flick. Because there's a nun, you see the nun in the preview, there's priest element, there's a whole religious element going on in this. And you don't realize how much it really plays into this movie. Now, as us being Christians, we've always, we can know when Hollywood's getting the church wrong. And I feel like with their nun and the stuff, the outfits and stuff, like they got it mostly right, but like obviously they messed up parts of it. Like the nun, there's this one part where the girl they hide in the convent and the nun lets them share a room, which probably would never happen.
Never would be allowed. They're unmarried. There's no way it would happen. There was a bunch of things in here There was one thing that it threw me. The main character, who actually can like see into your mind and know the stuff you've done, and know what's bothering you, had a lot of empathy. And the one girl, one of the characters, genuflected and did the sign of the cross, and she's like, I'm not going to be anyone's religion. And they were giving the character like divinity, and I thought that was wrong. That should never have been done. And the other thing that really made me uncomfortable is the one character was studying to be a nun. She didn't get all the way through, but she questioned God's divinity. You don't get that far to be a nun to question God's divinity. So it didn't make sense.
Yeah, she said she lost her calling, I guess, and she had hidden the fact from, and we are, none of this is kind of like mild spoilers, but it's not really the main plot. It's like this whole thing with aliens and spirituality. It's like this whole theme was like, oh, if aliens exist, then that's going to disprove religion. And the nun makes this line in the movie like that literally answered that question, that, if God created humans on Earth, and that was her point, like they were created on Earth, there was no like, maybe there is humans. So like the question is like, if the world, I'll ask Ryan, if the world someday came across like a disclosure day where we learned that aliens were out there, would that make you lose your faith? Not
at all. If they're out there, God created them. And actually, I've heard this several times, but they think the reason, and it's somewhat biblical, but I think it's in Revelation, but they talked about that alien type of thing, but it'd be fallen angels or like demons. And you're supposed to not go too much into looking for aliens and going all in that, because it's actually more of a cult than anything else. A cult, not a cult.
Yeah, so like, I mean, it never really fully answers the question. We'll get into that in spoilers. But, can aliens and God exist? Of course they can. Why not? I mean, and at the end of the day, this is a movie. This is a science fiction movie, a fun ride. It's right up Steven Spielberg's alley. So, it doesn't have to become this type of debate.
How will disclosure change us? I believe for the better. It will remind us of our capacity for empathy, and that there is something bigger out there than just ourselves.
All right, we'll let that lead us to the negatives. So in the negatives, and I've said this a lot on my channel about movies, especially in the horror, and this isn't really a horror, it's more of a sci-fi action, but this movie does a great job of building up anticipation, slow burn, mystery, intrigue, horror. The setup is there, and then the end just falls short.
Absolutely.
It's just a flat ending. It's a disappointing ending. It leads you to all these questions, and some of the questions kind of get answered, but many of the questions don't get answered.
And again, I feel exactly the same way. I thought my two negatives were there is the weird religious innuendo, and the ending, because it was doing so well, like leading you almost up on a roller coaster, just leading you up, getting you ready for that awesome ending, and then it just fell flat. That was pretty much the only negative, because the storyline I thought was pretty good.
Yep. Okay, so if you're still here, we are in the spoiler section. So this movie's pretty big, so we're going to do our best to try and recap as much of it as we can, because there is a lot going on. It is 2 hours and like 35 minutes long, and we saw it at his theater, had like 40 minutes of preview, so we were like gone for almost 4 hours, longer than Gilligan.
I love that joke. 3-hour tour.
Yeah, we'll watch my shark movie review on Chum where the girl says it, and it was funny. All right, so this movie opens up and it starts off in like a WWE wrestling ring or boxing ring, and there's this dude that's in the audience that all of a sudden the camera starts to focus on, and then
what happens is he doesn't realize it, but he has a guy behind him, and he has his backpack that has all like the stolen like disclosure stuff in it, those the drives that have all the conspiracies. And he stood up, and when he was about to stand up, he said, when you stand up, you need to give me your bag. He said, no, I want to know where the girl is. And they obviously took his girlfriend. and then it went into where they were in the
They were
dark
in a-
alley or
they were
something.
in a vehicle. So like basically the opening is trying to establish that this guy was working for a company. What was the company name again?
Webex or Web? Oh, I can't think of it.
Jeez.
It is a terrible name, but I can't
It's a
think of it.
dumb name, but the main company that's kind of covering up everything about the aliens that are in this movie. And it all resorts back to like all the conspiracies that we've heard over the years of, you know, like Area 51,
Yeah,
things in New
government,
Mexico,
Roswell.
government, all the stuff that
Yeah,
went down. So like
all the-
this is like, you know, the real life story of what it could be, what we don't know. And you know, this guy's got his girlfriend who they'd kidnapped. So it's very like, that's where I was getting like the Minority Report meets The Fugitive, because like you have, or Enemy of the State.
Yeah.
Like you have all this stuff going on, all this cover up going on, and they're trying to get these discs because it's not just one guy. It's that guy in the wrestling match, but there's also his boss who's basically running the whole gig, and they're trying to disclose to the entire world that they've known about aliens for 79 years and that everyone has the right to know. And that's where the girl comes in with her religious opinion, saying that, you know, she doesn't want to at first. She's like, no, they can't handle two deities. And this is where the weird religious stuff was coming in. You know, they can't handle two super.
I don't know, but they made it like if there's aliens, they might be gods.
Yeah,
And
I don't know why
it
always has to go
again,
that
it
route.
was a very weird religious dynamic there.
And then they escape to a convent. So it's
Yeah.
like the girl, they're basically on the run, Enemy of the State meets The Fugitive style, and they decide to hide out in the convent because she was a former nun. And
Studying to be a nun. She wasn't a nun yet. She was like, you know, you would go into the priesthood, you have to be in the seminary for a certain number of years. She was in the convent learning, but she didn't make her vows yet.
Yeah, because she lost her calling and she lost her belief in the superpowers of God. So, the deity of God. So, meanwhile, there's also, so everyone would remember the girl from she's in the preview. She's always doing the weather reports. So she's a very central figure in here. So her character starts off, it's kind of like a side-by-side story where you have this going on with the guy from the company plus the girlfriend, plus the weather girl has her boyfriend, and that's played by Kurt Russell's kid. I can't remember his first name, but he was in Night Swim. And they live in Kansas City, and she's going to her job, which is to report the weather. And there was this whole really weird scene where she gets pulled over by a police officer.
Yeah, and after she saw this bird come in, this cardinal, when she saw that cardinal, all of a sudden she could speak Russian. She could speak all these different languages, and the boyfriend's like trying to like institutionalize her. Kirk Douglas's kid kept saying this, and throughout the whole thing, felt she couldn't trust him because she could read his mind.
Why?
Yeah, and the whole time, yeah, it would be a guy's worst nightmare. But he could read her mind the whole time. So everything he was thinking, she would know. And when the policeman pulled her over, he was saying, "Oh, you're having a bad day. You got in a fight with your wife. This is what you do." And he told her how to fix it with his wife.
And then he just lets her go.
Yeah, he let her. He "Can I go now?" And she didn't even know what she was saying. It was almost like she was sort of, speaking.
You haven't seen He hasn't seen Obsession yet either, or Sinners. So Sinners and Obsession on your list. But like in Obsession, it was like Nikki Freeman. She had herself trapped in the body, and her body was doing things that she didn't know. Well, this main girl was doing the same things. Like she was spurting into other things, knowing things, and it all ties into what happens. But like he said, she was speaking other languages, and she would go, and then she'd bounce to herself, and she's like, what did I just say? What did I just do? Like, how did she do that? Now, and that's where the mystery and the intrigue is starting to build up. We're like, what the hell is this girl even doing? Like, how did she speak Russian? And how does she know everything about everyone that she looks at? And then she shows up to her shift, and she's about to give the weather report, and she starts clicking like, wouldn't that reminded me of the clicking zombies in World War Z?
Yeah.
Click, click.
Yeah.
And there was only one person on Earth who knew what she said, which was the other guy.
Yeah, and they never answered that. they were in the same bedroom as kids. I don't know if they're brother or sister. Like,
No,
that
they-
was one of those
They,
openings.
they weren't in the same bedroom. They went up to the. Well, we're skipping
Oh,
ahead.
that's right.
We're skipping ahead.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
You're right.
We'll get to it.
Can I tell you? Because they were both in that room. They only made a house for the one person.
Yeah,
That's not him.
it leaned so like. We are kind of jumping, but that's okay because
Sorry about that. I'm not used to.
We're
I'm not as
so
good as
so
he is.
basically, they are getting they're going to go through an entire montage of like this whole second act is like Minority Report meets The Fugitive,
Yeah, absolutely.
where they're basically running from the company, running from Colin Firth's character. So
Yeah.
Colin Firth is running this company, and he has the ability to grab these little discs or whatever, like little things that he can hop around, like jump time and space and get to, like he can chase them through virtual whatever. it
Yeah,
is.
and he can actually see what they see. He gets their eyes and is able to control what they do. At one point,
Yeah.
he was trying to get the girlfriend to kill the main one of the main characters, the guy in it. But she was very religious. She kept putting the cross into her hand, like the wounds of Christ. And then at she, instead of stabbing her boyfriend, she put the knife into her hand, again doing that sort of sign of that the nail in the hand, and she came back to life and was normal again. And he came out and his hand was hurt. The guy that took over.
And then this whole second act with where they're being chased, and this was something that I kind of forgot to put in my mix or negatives, but like I felt like these guys that were like Secret Service men, FBI men, whatever you want to call them, they're all highly trained individuals that are tracking these people down, and they keep getting away from them. Like there's this one scene where
They were so inept. They were like
they
stormtroopers.
They were super troopers. Yeah, it just seemed like these high-trained FBI, CIA type guys that should have caught them multiple times could never catch them. They always just got away, just hid behind a rock, just hopped the train. You know,
Only one of the guys like would go after them.
Yeah.
Remember that was one guy that they didn't control. It's like, these are not the people you're looking for. You know, it's sorry, that was a Star Wars thing, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
They reminded me of stormtroopers, where they can never ever hit like the broadside of a barn.
Yeah. So I mean, it did add to the action and adventure because they did kept getting away. They hide at this remote farmhouse at one point, and the other couple's hiding at a gas station, and then they separate. And then one of the best scenes that we both agreed on was they're basically they pull up to this train, and the train's coming, so they had to stop. And that reminded me of Final Destination, where the train's coming, but like literally they get pushed into the train as it's coming, and the train drags the car, and they're literally climbing out the front windshield and hopping onto the train. So that's where you got like
It was
this little
so cool
80s and 90s action flick, big set action piece there. And of course the guys are almost always getting to them but then failing.
The train was coming. Another train was coming this way. So
Yeah,
they had
it
a
was
certain
all-
amount. It was everything. That was a great scene.
Yeah,
One of my favorite scenes.
last moment getaways and stuff like that. So yeah, the action was top notch and executed really well. And then let's pull into that third act. So this is kind of what we already touched on a little bit. So they basically, all the main characters land at this hideaway place, because it seemed like even the other company. So you have the main company, and then you have the 12 of them have broken away that are trying to disclose everything. They're on the run as well, and they're doing a good job of staying well hidden. And they hide in this factory where they've managed to create the childhood home of the Weather Girl, and she's like the central focus of this whole thing. And what it comes down to was when she was 10 years old, and it was mentioned in the beginning where she had experienced a trauma as a child but forgot it. And the trauma was that basically she was abducted by aliens. And she got taken up into the spacecraft, and that's where the other guy with the religious girlfriend, he was also in the spacecraft at the same time. And the aliens basically, typical alien stuff, probed their brains and gave them special gifts. That's why they could understand the special conversations when they were talking. They understood the alien language.
He also could do complex math.
Yeah,
He could.
that's how they said
He
it,
could.
math.
Yeah, he could also like code computers and break codes in computers. Like he was super smart after it happened.
You know, that's where we get the story when we realize what had happened to them in the past and how they were connected. So it felt like they were siblings because there was this whole Hansel and Gretel. She had like a Hansel and Gretel dream, and it's not like they really were siblings, but it felt like they were siblings. But they were the only two. Like the one guy was always saying, it was always you two. It was always only two. And they were the only two that had access to the aliens. Now they didn't really explain, like, this is where it, like, they left gaps out. Like, so the aliens came in 1947, but these people were in their 30s. So why did they wait till like that would have, it would have been, they even said it was 96. So why did they wait till 1996 to infiltrate these two 10-year-olds?
It was, they were documenting all the crashes. The people were not well. These ones were able to land, and they made it look like a Hansel and Gretel house, but obviously the Hansel and Gretel house was the spaceship. And that's where and I don't think, it wasn't like they hurt them, but they gave them ability to understand them. So almost like they would be their interpreters, as well as they would understand the empathy. And that's why that one girl could see what everyone was thinking, because that was another way that they could communicate.
And by the way, I thought that girl, I think it was Emily Blunt.
She was
that girl.
incredibly.
I thought her acting was great.
Yeah,
I
she was
mean,
wonderful.
she had to do all sorts of things when she was being possessed. Again, she's no Nikki Freeman from Obsession, but it was very similar with the flipping back and forth role, and just when she would see people and then the way the people would react to her because of what they're seeing.
Actually, I can say that's a positive. The acting across the board was all good. I think all of it was incredibly believable. I didn't even know that was Colin Firth, but I thought he did a really good job. We're in spoilers, right?
Yeah, we're in spoilers.
He is chasing them the whole time, and like
and a very
never
physical
stop.
role.
Yeah, not only that, he's like getting weakened by having to hold this like cylinder thing in his hand to be able to see in other people's eyes to find where they're at, and he's getting weaker and weaker and weaker as he's doing all this. And in the end, when he was fighting for them not to disclose, when it was finally time that they were going to disclose, he sat down in the seat and watched them disclose. And the rest of his like army left. And the one that was always after them that tried to kill him on the train was like mad and said, now you're just going to sit there? Like he pointed out, and they all just left before the shit hit the
And the
fan.
way they disclose, so like literally the weather girl finally gets back to her weather station and pretty much walks in there like, I'm it. So let's go, let's get on the air. And this is the negative ending. So this is where, you know, it was so fantabulous getting to this point. And then I'm thinking, she does go onto the air and disclose about the aliens and disclose about everything. And I think the reason why it's so anticlimactic is everything she disclosed is everything we already learned.
Yeah.
It's everything we already experienced in the movie. Now they're just disclosing it.
Yeah.
And while the guy's sitting there in his chair watching, and everyone's there in amazement. The nun, even the nun, you know, they're all. I thought the nuns were funny. They were saying the rosaries. But it's like, I felt like that was a little unrealistic. I mean, maybe things can go viral, but like literally within minutes, the entire world is watching this one Kansas City broadcast.
Well, let me just say this. If someone comes on the thing and says there's aliens and going through all what they were doing,
I guess it goes out quick.
Yeah, I think it would, 'cause especially with the age of phones. Now, I'm not big on my phone all the time, but I could totally see that. I actually thought that was pretty realistic, because I think it would fly across, because people would be texting each other, look what's going on, and
yeah, but they had everyone's attention. It was the opposite of Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, where no one paid attention to the end of the world. But yeah, so it ended on like what felt like a cliffhanger, because she does all this like telling everyone that aliens are here, and then what was that last line she said?
listen.
She says the word listen.
It didn't even say
And then-
Linda.
Linda,
Yeah.
honey, Snookums. No,
Listen, Linda.
Linda, listen, Linda. Listen.
Okay, what?
Okay, that was
I'm sorry.
2018 called They Want Their Joke Back.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's what I
You're
thought.
funny. No, it's funny. I was thinking the same thing. But if someone would have said Linda in the theater, I think the whole theater. Our theater was, by the way, dead silent.
Oh yeah.
Except us.
Yeah.
It was silent. Like I've been in some active movie theaters. It's been a very active year for me in the movie theater. Like I went to Scary Movie and had to smell weed. I saw a car accident on the way home from Passenger, and I filmed a furniture store commercial just before seeing Backrooms.
I gotta ask you. You were surprised that you smelled marijuana at a scary movie.
I wasn't surprised, but
Oh,
it just, like I said in my review, it was like surround smell.
Oh, they're sharing. It's puffed up.
So I figure I'm late to the party on Obsession, so I have a one wish willow order where I'm going to wish.
That's terrible. That's so funny though. You can almost expect that kind of movie. But anyway, God help us all.
So anyhow, the movie falls short at the end. It ends in a cliffhanger and just a one-liner and cut the credits. But you know what? I heard a lot of people online already just roasting this movie, saying it's the worst of the year. I don't feel like it was the worst. Yeah, it has some lacking spots. You know, the end is not, where we wanted it, but like I enjoyed this movie.
I did too.
I enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, me too.
You
I
know?
thought as I said, it kept you on the edge of your seat. The ending, I don't know if they're doing a second one or what.
I don't know what they would do after this.
I don't know either.
It wouldn't be the same story. It couldn't be the same
to
story.
end on listen.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, and I think you feel the same way, I just wanted one more niblet of
Something.
what was the whole arc of this film. Like,
Yeah.
you made it there, you disclosed it to everybody, but what was the real point? Just something that said where civilization was going.
Because they bring out the alien and
Forward.
everything, and it's what the alien wants to say. And we never hear what the alien wants to say.
Yeah, is it going to be like happy aliens and humans just coinciding going
yeah.
forward? It's just
Is it
really
gonna be like
just
E.T.?
listen. They didn't phone home. They didn't do anything. They just said, listen.
Listen.
No Linda.
I love Linda.
Anyhow, oh my God. All right, we said we were going to try and keep this review under 40 minutes. We'll see.
Oh, God, help
if
us.
you guys are still here, thank you for watching. Thank you for
Absolutely.
being part of the review. I love having Ryan on the channel. It adds a new flavor to when I do the review. We will be, we talked about reviewing the end of Oak Street, which
That looks
awesome.
so awesome.
We're still planning.
Anything that's banned Robot, the king of the nerds.
We're
Jim Abrams.
still planning on Gremlins.
Oh yeah.
He just has to watch Sinners and now Obsession. You can watch Obsession.
I don't know if I'd like Obsession. I'll probably watch Sinners.
I think
But Obsession.
Well, if you give Sinners a chance and you like it, which I know you'll like it, then you have to give Obsession a chance.
I'll give Sinners a chance.
right.
I will give Sinners because my
Bella, his daughter, will be so proud.
Yeah,
So
well,
anyhow,
my daughter may actually watch a show with me, so that would be about.
Yeah, just watch it with her.
Yeah.
Quality time. Okay, we're back because we realized after closing everything down and taking our setup down that we forgot to do the rating. So we're going to get down to business on Disclosure Day. And Ryan, go ahead with your rating first.
Again, my rating is Turkey Burger. I liked it, but there was just something missing. I didn't like the religious innuendo, and the ending was weak.
And I am actually going to stick with giving it a good burger. So even though I wasn't a fan of the ending, I still like this movie overall as a whole and enjoyed the ride that we went on to get to where we got to. So it's a good burger from Johnny at Good Burger Reviews. Please like, subscribe, tap that notification bell, and don't forget to listen.
Why would they do this?
When the time is right, everything will become clear.
Whatever happens, don't you let go.
While we're back here at Good Burger Reviews, we've all just seen Disclosure Day, and now we're going to do like we did the last time when we were all together, and that is do some Steven Spielberg trivia. But we need to introduce our kids because these ain't the same kids that were here the last time. So Ryan,
This is my son Gio.
How's it going, guys?
This is my son, Jeremiah, Jesse's older brother.
And this is
You wanna
Isabella's
say
older
hi,
brother,
Jeremiah?
Gio.
Hi.
Hi. All right. So they all just saw Disclosure Day. Now we're going to do just like what we did for Scream 7. We're going to ask them 6 questions about Steven Spielberg films, primarily from the 70s, 80s, or 90s. Or the first decade of 2000, I guess would be okay. And we'll give them some time to get it right. And then whoever doesn't answer the question of us can try and answer. Okay. So here we go. First question. Steven Spielberg directed a creature feature in 1975 starring what creature?
That was Jaws.
And the creature in the film is?
A great white shark.
All right, so we got one right.
All right, good. Mine is from 1982. What movie was created in 1982 about an alien that came down to the Earth?
E.T.
All right, Gio's on a roll. So we did ask Gio all the Scream questions. He got half of them right. So him being the oldest
He's
of all the
gifted.
kids, he's got more time to see a lot of these movies. Okay, question number 3. What was the movie that Steven Spielberg directed before Jaws?
The movie he directed before Jaws.
Yes.
Well, you guys said that he did Duel. And
That's right.
I'm pretty sure Duel came out before Jaws.
That's
Very
right.
good.
It's Duel. I believe released in 71 or 72. Steven Spielberg's Jeepers Creepers type of road flick. Okay.
What was E.T.'s catchphrase?
E.T. Phone Home.
All right, these are easier ones. All right, we got to step this up. All right, I'm going to ask Jeremiah a question, then we'll pass it over to Gio. All right, Jeremiah. In 1993, Steven Spielberg directed a second creature feature featuring what animal?
I have no clue. Was that Jaws 2?
Not
Or is that
Jaws
something
2.
different? Yeah.
Let's turn it over to Gio.
What was the question?
In 1993, Steven Spielberg directed a second creature feature featuring what creature?
I'd like to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Is this a made-up creature or a creature that existed at a different time?
The creature existed at a different time.
So is it Jurassic Park?
Yes, it's Jurassic Park. So what if I would have said it was a made-up creature, what would your answer have been?
I would have asked you if it went by the name of Gizmo, and then I would have said it was Gremlins.
That would have been a good guess, but
Not right.
we just found out that we don't think Steven Spielberg did.
No, he
Gremlins.
didn't do it.
Well, we just Googled it because we both thought he did.
Yeah.
I thought he did. Who did
I
it?
thought he did too.
All
Joe
right.
Dante.
I have a question. This is a little harder.
All right.
This is a movie that that Steven Spielberg, I think he wrote and directed it, at least directed it for sure. But it was a throwback to all the cool movies of the 80s.
Ready Player One?
Yes, that's right.
He's closer to Gen X than we think.
And actually, Ready Player One was a book first, and there's a second book called Ready Player Two, and that's a movie that's coming out soon.
Is Steven Spielberg doing it?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
that's
wow.
awesome.
Okay, well, that's something to look forward to. All right. Final question.
Okay, my next question is, Steven Spielberg created an epic, great movie, and he ended up marrying the lead female in that movie. What is the name of that movie? And for bonus points, what's the woman's name that he married?
Wow.
Still married today.
He made a movie.
Yeah, an epic movie that everybody knows. I'll give you a hint. She played opposite of Harrison Ford.
Oh, Temple of Doom.
Yep. Do you know the woman's name?
I won't know it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kate Capshaw. That's his wife today.
Wow.
All right, Ryan finally stumped Gio.
Yeah.
Dang it, that was going to be my last question. Was going to be about Indiana Jones. So I'm going to ask the last question. How many Indiana Jones movies were released in the 1980s? Let's ask Jeremiah first.
I know that answer.
Any guess?
I know.
Did you
Three?
get all right.
Yeah.
Jeremiah got one right. It's 3. Do you know the titles, Gio?
The 3.
Yeah.
Yes, 3 Indiana Jones movies.
We just
from
said
the
one of the
1980s.
titles.
I'm pretty sure it's Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Best one. Yeah.
Temple of Doom,
Uh-huh.
My favorite.
and then
Oh, I do like Raiders too.
hold on. Jeremiah, you feel free
This
to
is
chime
your
in.
last answer. I mean,
Oh, you're not allowed to give hints.
Feel free to chime in if you
Give a hint.
well, you didn't. It wouldn't have been a hint if you didn't say it was a hint.
The Last Crusade.
That's it. I knew you'd get it. I'm so proud.
Okay.
I
you
raised you
all
right.
This is what we'll say about Gio and Jeremiah. They definitely put Bella and Jesse to shame. So you're gonna have to educate your siblings. And maybe Steven Spielberg is just an easier character.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So we did see Disclosure Day, and we're gonna give Jeremiah and Gio a chance to say quick thoughts about the movie, good, bad, or ugly, and give a rating.
I would say, you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. I would say it kind of dragged a little bit. There wasn't really a point in the movie until you kind of like get to like the middle of it. He kind of just drops you into this situation of this guy's on the run, and you know you have your typical cliche 80s bad guy who's after him, and then it kind of builds up to this. So, you know, you think there's going to be this epic battle or something, but it kind of just ends on not only a cliffhanger, but the bad guy is a threat the whole time until he finally can actually be a threat. He has the lady, he has the guy, he can do something, he can stop their plans of, you know, exposing these secrets to the world. But instead, he pulls out a lawn chair and just watches them just tell everything that he otherwise didn't want them to. It doesn't make any sense. It's very like, what the heck did I just watch? I would like to thank AMC for the Movie Pass, because the Movie Pass made it where I didn't pay for this movie to go see it, because I probably wouldn't have paid to go see this movie, because it really just didn't make any sense. Spielberg is an icon. He's a legend. But this one just, I feel like it was a swing and a miss. He kind of just leaves you wanting more, which I guess is good, but I don't want a sequel. I just have questions that were left unanswered. And maybe if I would go to watch it again, they would be answered, but like I said, I'm not going to pay to see this movie, so I'd give it a spam.
The lowest rating.
Yes.
All right.
It was, in terms of what we know he's capable of doing, he kind of came up short here. That's just my opinion.
If you're a casual viewer, it was pretty good overall. Boom. I feel like it definitely would be a turkey burger, honestly. I felt like kind of what Gio said. The ending was just kind of, it was very anticlimactic. It just kind of left you like, what the heck just happened? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think we all agree about the ending.
Yeah, it kind of sucked buns, honestly. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
For all you 80s nostalgic guys and gals, if you want to see a movie that kind of takes you back, because I know Spielberg was a big thing back then, go see Masters of the Universe. That is a great movie, blast from the past kind of thing. Scary movie. My dad and I saw that.
Was it good?
It was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
You like scary movies, so I gave
did-
that one a good
I
burger.
did enjoy Scary Movie. It was the classic humor that we all remember from the early 2000s, before all this nonsense of the youth today. But it was funny. It was a classic. Same thing with Masters of the Universe. Here, I think Spielberg is trying to take us back to, you know, the typical 80s, you know, extraterrestrial kind of movie. it did have a lot of cliches. You got the bad guy, you got the dude and the person on the run and all that stuff. But it just didn't deliver the way we know that he can deliver, so.
Wait, did you not like the movie, Ryan? It's a scary movie?
A scary, I just thought, it was funny, but there was some parts were just like, oh, it's horrible.
What about they stab they them?
Well, that was the best part.
It was,
I mean,
I loved it. And then
Everybody laughed during the trailer.
anything that had to do with that kind of stuff made me laugh. They did some stuff with the church, and I didn't like that.
he didn't see
That was Sinners,
Yeah,
bro.
he didn't see
See,
Sinners.
he didn't see Sinners.
He didn't.
That's why he wasn't in Passenger Review.
He didn't.
But I gave him a pass for Disclosure Day, so now he knows. He's not going to see Gremlins without seeing Sinners.
That's right, they are making a new Gremlins.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That's so exciting.
Yes,
forgot about
Gremlins is coming. So
I'm so excited for Gremlins. I am
yes,
very excited.
we will review Gremlins. As long as Ryan has seen Sinners, he can review Gremlins.